everyone, welcome back to Wanderlust Books, and today I'm going to be doing my favorite books of 2014. So I know this is very late in the game, and so I really wanted to do my favorite books of 2014 in the beginning of the year, but I just didn't get around to it. And so now this is pretty much just a lot of books that I really enjoyed last year. But it's not all of them. I enjoyed a lot. If you would like to see all the books that I read in 2014, I will put my Goodreads in the description. I read about 85 books out of the 100 goal that I had. I did lower my goal later to 80 books in the year, but I still really think that my goal was 100, but I didn't get there. So these books are in no order of my favorites to my least favorite of the year in total. Just a whole bunch of books that I really enjoyed. I think I picked out 8 possibly, and we will just get started on it right now. So one of my favorite books that I read in 2014 was Winger by Andrew Smith. This book was really good. It's about this guy named Ryan/Winger who is just coming into his freshman year of high school at a boarding school, and he's going through a lot of problems. He is currently in the somewhat suspension type of area in the school where it's for kids that are dealing with a lot of problems in the school. They are getting pretty much disciplined. And so Winger is in that section of the school, and he has a new roommate who is pretty much a bully, and it's pretty much his life throughout the entire novel, his friends, love interests. And I love this book in 2014, and I would recommend it to anyone who's in the mood of a contemporary, really funny book. And that's pretty much all I have to say about this book. So the next one that I really enjoyed, I don't have the first one because it's currently being lent out to a friend, but that is the Saga series. I really enjoyed the Saga series. This is probably one of my favorite graphic novels that I read last year. I only read 3. I'm getting into graphic novels a lot right now, and Saga is pretty much really up there on there for me. So Saga is about 2 people who are from opposite sides of the universe, and they are going through a war at the moment. And they end up falling in love and making a baby. And so the entire story is about how they're trying to get away from these 7 people who are trying to kill them and their child. And so it's really interesting. It's very graphic. There's sex in it and vulgar things and really disgusting characters. And I would recommend this for anyone who is a type of mature audience, to be completely honest. It was a really great read. I read the second one this month, and it was really great. That is a spoiler for anyone looking forward to my wrap-up at the end of the month. So the next book is for the Legends series. I only own the first and third book because I checked out the second book from the library, and I really enjoyed this series. It's about a dystopian type of world where stuff is very sparse. They're going through a lot of problems. The main character is dealing with a lot of stuff. A really great read. There's a really great love story in it. It's not the main reason for this book, so I really like that. I would recommend picking this up if you really enjoy dystopian novels. I was really in a dystopian mood when I read this in 2014, and so that is pretty much why I loved it so much, I believe. It is a very popular book. It was very popular when it first came out, and it was very popular around the time Champion came out, which was 2013, I believe. And so I really picked it up late in the game, but I loved it nonetheless. So the next book is a book I loved in 2014. It was probably one of my favorite 2014 reads at the time that I read it, which I think was February or March. And that is Fire and Flood by Victoria Scott. This is another type of dystopian book. See the pattern? I was in a really big dystopian mood in the beginning of the year. And so this book is about a girl who decides to go for these type of games where there's a plague going on, and she's trying to get it's not really a plague, there's sickness going on in the world that's really deadly, and her brother has that type of disease, and she's trying to save him. And so the prize for this is to get that cure and then some money, obviously. And it's kind of Hunger Game-ish, but not really. It's very good. I really like the main character. She's very relatable in this type of situation. She's no Katniss where she's automatically already a hero. She works toward it, and she is very relatable in this type of situation. I would have to admit, it was really good. And the second book's coming out this month. It's already out probably by the time I post this, or it's coming out the day I post this. And I'm very excited to get my hands on the second book and read what's happening, because I would recommend picking this up for anyone who really likes the Hunger Games, but would like a more relatable Hunger Games, to be completely honest. The next book that I really enjoyed in 2014 was the Smoke and Bones series. I read the first and second book in February. It is a very good fantasy type of series. It was this girl who's going through this type of world that is mixed with humans and these other type of creatures I don't really remember what they're called because I did read this a year ago pretty much now, and I haven't picked up the third one yet. That is pretty much one of my very sad sentences to say, is that I haven't read the third one yet that came out almost a year ago. I'm sorry if you love the series. I haven't gotten around to it. I review both of these, so if you would like to see a more in-depth review, I'll put both of them in the description below. So the next book slash series I completely loved and fell in love with during February also last year was the Shatter Me series, and mostly Ignite Me. Ignite Me, I loved it. I love the entire series, but mostly Ignite Me. I love Juliet, I love Warner, I love Kenji, I love everyone in the series. I want to reread it, pretty much. I wanted to reread it exactly the moment I finished Ignite Me. I read all 4 books. I would say 4 because I have the novellas, and I was pretty much sad when I finally finished this book. It's about a girl who, I mean, most people know what this is about, but it's about a girl, Juliet, who her touch is lethal, and if she touches anyone, then she kills them. But she finds out that there's this boy in her cell that if she touches him, he doesn't get hurt. And so they're trying to figure out why that is, and they go through all this other crazy stuff. It's really good. I would recommend picking it up if you haven't already. I know there's a lot of people in this world that don't really enjoy this series, but I really enjoyed it, and so if you really like to read the type of books that I've read, then I would recommend picking this up. So the next book that I really enjoyed in the year 2014 is a YouTuber book, and that is the Grace's Guide, The Art of Pretending to be a Grown-Up. I am a pure loving fan of Grace Helbig, and I am pretty much pretending to be a grown-up most of the time. I am 21 years old, and I don't do a lot of stuff grown-up-y. And so this book was amazing. I love Grace, I love her humor, and I love her spunk, and I loved everything about this book. I think it gave really great advice. It is a self-help book, and so that is something you should look forward to when reading it. It has really cute, like, quotes that her mom did. It has lots of full color art slash photos. There's little acronyms at the end that'll help you figure out anything that you needed to know about the chapter that you just read. And in the beginning of the chapter, there's all these different stories that she wrote about things in her life that are connected to these type of things she's trying to teach you. And so it was just, it's fantastic. I mean, everyone loves Grace Helbig, and if you haven't checked her out, you really should. Just search Grace Helbig on YouTube or It's Grace, and you will fall in love with her. When I first started watching her videos in 2013, I literally watched all of them in maybe a span of a few days, and then I have been caught up ever since, and I watched every single video of hers, and I love every single one of them, and she's a fucking genius, I must say. So my last and final book that I really adored in 2014 is beloved by many and hated by few, and that would be the Throne of Glass series, but mostly Heir of Fire, and I loved Heir of Fire. It was amazing. It is huge, and I needed more than this big chunk of book. There is 4 books out at the moment, and I read literally all of them in the span of most likely 4 days. I'm pretty sure I read them all back to back. I think I read 2 of them in one day. I love them that much. It is a fantasy series that deals with a girl named Selena, and she is an assassin. She's kick-ass. She is amazing, and I would recommend the series literally to anyone who loves fantasy and kick-ass characters and somewhat of a love triangle. And it was an amazing series, and I cannot wait for the next book to come out in this year, and it is on my try to get an ARC list. I must tell you, it is. So that is a list of a lot of books that I really enjoyed in 2014. I read so many books in 2014 that I couldn't narrow down to just a little bit of books, but I did try to look over my shelves on books that I owned and that I wanted to show you and hold and present their beauty. And so I picked those books. If you liked any of these books, please let me know, and I will have a complete list of all the books that I read in 2014 along with my Goodreads, that you can see all the books that I'm reading currently, and you can let me know if you read any of the books that I read in 2014 and if you loved any of them. Also, please tell me your favorite books that you read in 2014, and I would love to hear from you. So, like this video if you liked it. It helps me out and it helps you out by finding me in your search engines, and I would really love if you left any comments about anything that you're really looking forward to or any video recommendations that you want, because I'm getting kind of sparse on my Wanderlust Wednesday videos where they're about me. There's very few that I can do that are just book hauls and wrap-ups and currently reading type of videos, and I would really like to know if there's anything you would love to know that I like to read or of anything that has to do with my life. So thanks for watching, bye!